All right, I wanted to take you behind the scenes as I shoot some B-roll for one of my latest videos. It was for the easy live stream setup. You can find that video right there. But I wanted to take you through kind of behind the scenes because this is the first time I tried shooting B-roll for this equipment this way. So let's check this out. All right, so here really is the setup for this. So I always have kind of this backdrop set up here. It's definitely a little wrinkly, which I wish I would have taken the time to go through and iron that. But then I have, this is kind of a little interview station. This is where I do some interviews when we used to be able to do in-person stuff. But I just have a little end table. So this is just an end table that I took off the microphones from because I had some podcasting microphones on there on a boom arm. And then I have a little plexiglass, a black plexiglass right here. You can see just put the product, the equipment I'm talking about right on top. In this case, it is a Logitech camera. So really it's just this corner over here in the office and again, normally used for interviews, but I have the Aperture 120D with the light dome kind of right there. And I wanted to get it as close to top down as possible. I don't have a C-stand to kind of boom it over. That's one thing I need to add to my list of future purchases here. But I diffused it as much as possible so it has both diffusions on there. And I didn't use the grid. A lot of times for interviews here, you can see I don't have the grid on there. I just have it as diffused light as possible, just so it kind of is nice and soft going on the product. And then you can see the product way down there. It's kind of some weird angles just because the end table is so low. But that was back where I kind of wanted to shoot things, so I didn't want to move anything else because I knew this shouldn't take too long to shoot. But I wanted to make sure I got these product shots. And then you can see kind of right, let's move that, there we go, right there it is the camera. And it's the EOS R. So I have the R kind of set there on a tripod, just zoomed in and to like kind of lined up in a nice shot. It worked really well for the Logitech, it worked less well for some of the other stuff. I'll show you a few other clips here, kind of what the final product looks like. Running at a frame rate of 60, so I can slow it down in post and just kind of make it that nice smooth angle because I want to show you this thing right here. So, all right, let's get down here. All right, so you can kind of see the product right here, but I have this plexiglass. So this is black plexiglass because I want the reflections to kind of show up there. So the product looks really nice. It's gotten a little dirty after shooting here for a little while because I already have captured all the shots. But I just kind of want to show you this setup. So I actually have a Lazy Susan underneath here so I can continue to rotate this. So now and the Lazy Susan I used was super cheap here on Amazon, or there are more expensive ones that will actually automatically rotate and rotate at a consistent speed. So for me, because I don't have that one, I just had to kind of time it and try to be as smooth as possible when going through that kind of main shot that I want. So I just took a couple takes, going as smoothly as I could. Got a little more difficult when I had some heavier products on, actually. Like I said, I think the Logitech is going to be, I haven't edited these yet, but I think the Logitech is going to be my favorite one. It's the best one, it's the one that looks the best here in camera anyways. So I think that was really great. And so all I would do is I would turn the camera on, start recording here, and then just kind of slowly rotate the product to kind of showcase it. And I have it in manual focus, so it kind of maintains that focus. So as it's rotating, it'll even come into focus or go out of focus. And I can play with that in post as well and decide which way I like best. Also wanted to show you that I just have another light kind of set up down below underneath the product table, just casting up on the backdrop. I just wanted to create a little bit of separation there. I think we'll see what it looks like in post. I should have maybe taken all the shots as well without the light, just to kind of see if I like it. I actually, now that I'm saying that, I'm going to try it with the Logitech here and just kind of test that out so I know for the future. But I created a little bit of separation with that light, and just as a way to kind of separate the product from the background and hopefully add some more dimension to that shot. All right, so now I have everything shot, so I brought it into the computer and loaded it into Premiere, and now it's really mostly about editing and coloring. So as you can see here, I have the sequence, and I duplicated the layer. Let's turn this layer off. So this definitely was my favorite one. You can see how that just kind of looks. I just love the way that one turned out. But with it, let's show you I want to show you a little bit of what I did here. So with this, first thing I did was this is how it looked when I brought it in. I slowed everything down to 40% because I'm shooting at 60 frames per second. So drop it down 40%. And then I like to always include in the speed ramp here, I always include the optical flow. And I found the section that was the smoothest. So I actually found the section that was the smoothest in the turning before I slowed it down, but then slowed it down. And now it's time to color correct. And this is definitely the area, one of the areas, not the area, there's many areas that I still need a lot of improvement on, but this is an area that I can improve a lot in, is color correction and just color grading in general. So I shoot everything in log, so I brought it in, and you can see right here what that raw footage looks like. So when I first started out, I would just go and apply a LUT and call that good and kind of be done with it. That was before I was shooting in log, that was before lots of things. But now I've slowly started to figure out and slowly started to pay more attention to the actual color grading, because it's something I do want to get better at. I think when you really understand color grading, you're going to be able to get more out of your footage and make it look so much nicer. So a lot of this has been playing around and just trying to figure out things. Not to say that I don't use LUTs occasionally. Like even on this footage, I applied a LUT, but it wasn't just applying it and leaving it at that. And as a color grade, again, I want to just clarify that I'm not necessarily an expert. Even here recently in some of the videos, there are definitely ones that I wish I would have color graded differently and color corrected differently. But one of the first things I do is just crank up the contrast. And because it is so black, I want to take it pretty high here. And that's something I'll kind of mess around with. But just also, again, this is an interesting, very dark, very black, meant to be very black kind of setting. So I'm going to take the contrast way up. I also, one of the very first things I like to do is also take the shadows down. I like my shadows to be fairly black and fairly dark. Now you can jump over and look at some of the scopes. I don't really know what I'm doing yet when it comes to looking at scopes. I know you don't want to kind of flatten everything out, and you don't want to just like get too far out of line here. It's like I don't want to take everything so like I completely destroy the image, and I don't want everything flat. I know I want it kind of ideally spread throughout. But exposure, I'm going to leave there because I think that's pretty solid. Shadows, I want to take the shadows down some. So I just kind of go by the way it looks, at least for now. I'm going to eventually get better at this, and then I'll tell you completely different stuff. But I want to take the shadows down. I also do like taking the black down because we are going for a certain look here. And you can kind of see we're getting closer to that. I'm going to even get off of the Metri scopes just because, again, I don't really know what I'm doing with those anyways. Oftentimes when it comes to the log, I usually add some saturation in. Anywhere between going to 110 or 120 usually. And honestly, for this one, I think I might jump right up to 120 because I think it helps make some of this pop a little bit more, like just kind of with the reflection here, seems like it's popping a little bit more. So that's playing a lot with it. Let's see what the whites do. I don't think I want to adjust the whites too much. I want to keep those pretty neutral. And even the highlights, I'm going to be curious to see how this compares to what I was doing before because I already don't remember that. But I'm going to keep the highlights about the same. Now, what I know I did before was actually go in here and add a LUT. And what I did was the black eye. This is a Peter McKinnon LUT. I've been using those for a while. I have a few others as well. But I thought this one did a nice job at bringing it out. And again, I have the intensity at 30% right here, Like if you're going all the way, it comes in at 100 and like that's way too much. But 30 just seems to add. And that's usually now, if I do apply a lot, that's about the level that I apply it at, is about 30 to 40% at most. And so there you have it. That's kind of pretty close to, it's what I just readjusted for that final image. Let's see how it compares to the original one. The original one's a little bit darker. I actually might like the new one slightly, this one right here. Okay, let's see what the differences were. So if I click on this one, let's go to the color correction. I'm going to turn this off. So we're going to look at this one, see what the numbers are. So we're 70% contrast, negative 65, and then negative 14, and then 120. So I know a bunch of it's the same. Let's turn this on, and we have less contrast in this top one. And we're at 65. What did I say? The shadows were at negative 65. Versus here, I also left the shadows up a little bit more. And then the blacks are at negative 34 and negative 14. Okay. I actually think I like the newer one, just slightly more. It allows you to see the camera a little bit more, whereas our old one kind of hid the camera a little bit more. It was maybe a little bit too black. So that is exactly how you go through and kind of color correct. That's what I did here. It's just your little peek behind the scenes for the way I shot the B-roll for that last video. If you're interested in learning more about and seeing more of this behind the scenes stuff as I shoot videos and do things, let me know. Leave a note in the comments. Just let me know that you're interested. Just say yes is all I need to hear. And we'll start being sure to capture some of the behind the scenes things as I shoot. And as I do that, it takes a bit more time, and obviously takes some time to edit this video. So I want to know that it is something that you actually would enjoy seeing, how I'm making some of these videos for YouTube. So if you want to see more of these videos, be sure to subscribe, and don't forget to hit that like button on this video if you enjoyed it. And until next time, I will see you in the next video.